Tonight's piece is called Shame. As an 8-year-old child, he knew what shame meant and felt like. Shame at his hand-me-down uniform and battered, well-used books. He had a myriad of reasons to feel it. The fact that he got free milk and a bun and his neighbours didn't. That everyone knew he was poor and had no father. That his classmates thought he was the teacher's pet because he usually came first in exams. That he was a small fat child who grew out instead of up. He had an annual increment of shame. That he was known as a Holy Joe because he spent so much time in church. That an old crazy man used to have dinner in his house every Sunday and talk to himself all the way home. That he visited this man in a broken down shack of a house once a week. That they might find out he really was his father. He was afraid of the tougher guys who called him goody goody. That he wore wellies to school. That every Friday his shirt was filthy because his mother had no time to wash it. And so it went, from primary to secondary school and from there to work. Shame for the past, the present, and even shame in advance of a future action. A constant companion. Half a century later, he should have grown out of it, but no, it remains a true friend. Its loyalty to him deserves some respect. Thank you.
And now we have Mary Newman.
There was one very beautiful day this summer. I know it was a good summer, you know, there were lots of very nice days, thankfully. But there was one very beautiful day. I don't know if you remember it, but in my estimation it was very beautiful anyway. It was around the middle of August, and it happened to fall on a Sunday. And it was an absolutely incredible day. Anyway, I'm sure you remember it. This is called Perfect Day. Do you mind the day? It was the best day of the summer, best day of the year. The day we had all been waiting for since the start of time. And when it came round, I found myself walking alone on the edge of a horseshoe bay on a northern beach where even the sand was blue, shimmering as the sea with the reflected pastels of the sky. Families and lovers were strolling as in treacle, their movements made slow and fluid by the heat. Smells of barbecued meat and sounds of children squealing were carried on the breeze. 3 horses cantered in the shallows, their fetlocks lapped by small waves. Swallows were diving in the long grasses, doing their bedtime acrobatics. Do you mind the day? It was the best day of the summer, best day of the year, the day we had all been waiting for since the start of time. And when it came round, I found myself walking alone on the earth's rim as the sun slowly eased itself into the warmed-up Atlantic, and a long letting go of breath rippled across the waves and the dunes and across the chests of the lovers and mothers and fathers and boys and girls, holding hands and playing and picnicking on the beach. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mary. And now a short story from Chris O'Donnell.
It's normally short poems, but here we go. First time out. A long time waiting. As I stood in a line at a bus stop, I watched as others joined the queue. everyone was looking in the direction from which the bus was due to arrive from. And as we all waited, no words were spoken from one person to another. Then at the end of the line I noticed a stranger in the form of a well-dressed, if not elderly lady. "Be long with it?" she asked. Nobody offered a reply, so I volunteered a sort of curt reply. "Not long, I imagine." "Thank you, young man," she said. "I'm in your debt. Not many people take the time to answer an old person anymore. And as long as I'm where I am in this line, at least I can pretend to be part of the group." So I decided to listen to her story until the bus came along. Believe it or not, I was a child once. It was a hard time, but it was worth it. Things were different back then. So I thought, when I get married, I'll work hard, and if ever I have my own children, I'll make sure they never want for a thing. And this I did to my own regret. My children left or turned against me entirely. For years I waited for them to realise that I loved them, until finally, one by one, they came home. And in doing so, they realised that it takes a hell of a long time waiting to understand that while we wait, time never does. And young people get old as children grow older. So if nobody takes the time to learn or listen to the voices of the elderly with their experience, then we will surely come to a bad time for us all. As I looked up, I noticed that the bus had been and gone. "Excuse me, ma'am," I said, "did you know that the bus is gone?" "Never mind, young man," she replied. "Here comes my driver now." A long limousine pulled up and she asked me if she could give me a lift. "Thank you, ma'am. I think I'll take your kind offer." "Where to?" she said. "I think I'll visit my wise old mother. If you don't mind, that is." "Not at all," she said. "I'll tell the driver, shall I?" "Of course, ma'am." "Home, driver, if you please. I found my boy as a man."
Thank you very much, Chris. And now, a seasoned and established practitioner, Terry Murray.
I'd be tripping over myself. I don't know why I wear long skirts. I always trip over them. This poem is called "Returning to Ithaca." It's, I suppose it's about my partner, Lee Mulligan, who died 5 years ago. So it's dedicated to Mark Whelan, who's not here tonight anyway. Returning to Ithaca. The Greek poet who wrote of Ithaca told of Odysseus' long and perilous journey, the gust to pillow his sails, where the exalted gasps of victory, the gust-drenched sighs of defeat. Lee Mulligan too is travelling to Ithaca, and he is halfway there, back to the Mews in a Limerick lane, where cart horses once were housed. To him they were the steeds of heroes, hooves nailed to bronze and silver shoes. Echoed in the width of Catherine Street, a thoroughfare in some Phoenician town, paved with corals and mother of pearls. The weeds between the cobblestones were the hanging gardens of Babylon found. Again in the Carnegie Library, before it was the City Gallery, dip his line and hook into the silence of a room, catching a shoal of leaping fishes, bones formed from consonants, flesh from vowels, spoken softly in the People's Park, where archipelagos of green divided by paths like streams. The member for Parliament spring rice in his plinth, pebbles where his eyes used to be. Still see beyond the Shannon River to the Corrigor Falls, where time just stops and stares, past the tremendous expanse of Sarsfield Bridge, where houses only in memory stand guard on Arthur's Quay. All these wonders of Ithaca were in childhood strewn as jewels beneath his feet, when he had nothing to fear from the fierce Lystagonians, the angry eye of the Cyclops, nor Poseidon's thunderous waves. The muse Persephone will still be there, winding, unravelling her ball of wool, fending off the suits of other poets, knitting, knitting, always knitting, until a half man, half God comes sailing home. Thank you.